Hello everyone, welcome back to Double Clutch Auto Reviews. My name is Mark and thank you again so much for tuning in for another video.
And I'm here with
my friend Alex's 1995 R33 Nissan Skyline GT-R. And this one has been tastefully modified with an upgraded turbo, bigger injectors, and a whole lot of other good bits. So let's dive on in and check it out. The R33 Nissan Skyline GT-R
was built from 1995
to 1998 and is technically the 4th generation of the GT-R chassis. And the biggest controversy behind the R33 is that it is pretty well known to be the red-headed stepchild of the GT-R family. And now why is that? Some people say because it's heavier, which is in fact true. It's 220 pounds heavier, 5 inches longer overall, 1 inch wider with a 4 inch longer wheelbase than the R32, the previous generation. Yet it had a more comfortable and roomy interior with more legroom based on that increased wheelbase. It was safer,
if anyone cares about that, and it was technically faster.
A whole 21 seconds faster around the Nürburgring than the R32. In fact, this car was the first production car ever to crack under 8 minutes around the Nürburgring. 7 minutes and 59.887 seconds to be exact. That's pretty darn cool when you think about it. Maybe it didn't replicate the boxy nostalgic styling of the R32, or it wasn't as angry and aggressive as the R34, which was made famous and iconic by the Fast and Furious franchise, making it one of the most legendary cars to ever come out of Japan in the 1990s. When it boils down to it, we're just getting down to personal preference, the eye of the beholder and whatnot. But to be honest, I really like the styling of the R33. And I'm not just saying that because Alex is standing here staring at me in the face, letting me review his car and whatnot. I actually think all GT-Rs are great looking cars, and the R33 is no exception. They're all a little bit different, but they're all sexy looking cars in their own right. For instance, the R33's taillights are particularly cool. These iconic 4 circular taillights, that's pretty much known to be a GT-R thing. That's how you know right from the rear end that that is a GT-R. You can see if you look really closely inside the R33s, there's individual rings going around towards the center, and it's supposed to replicate a jet engine afterburner. I think that's a really cool touch. The R33 is the only Skyline that has that 3-dimensional effect with the taillights. To be honest, I think the main reason that the R33 wasn't as well received and appreciated as the R32 or the R34 was because it didn't do quite as well in professional racing events as the R32 and the R34 did, especially in the Le Mans. Which is a shame because I don't think the R33 deserved to be underappreciated. Nissan did have pretty big shoes to fill following up from the R32. However, they did put in a lot of work to make this car special in its own right from the previous generation. To start, as I already mentioned, they made this car bigger, 5 inches longer and 1 inch wider. But if you're a taller person, that means you have a little bit more legroom, especially in this interior.
So the R33 might be the GT-R for you, especially if you're on the taller side.
Nissan also upgraded the HICA system, which steers the rear wheels in this car from a hydraulic one to an electronic one. But because Alex has upgraded the horsepower in this car from the stock 287, we all know that that's not exactly right because of that gentleman's agreement in Japan.
This one right now is making around 420 wheel horsepower and 400 wheel pound-feet of torque. Because of this increase in power, he deleted his HICA rear wheel steering system because he didn't want it to break with that increased power level.
Nissan also stiffened up the chassis of the R33 compared to the R32 by putting aluminum in key strategic points to make it much more rigid. Along with that chassis reinforcement, they also increased the sound deadening in this car. They also added a rear strut brace in the R33. You can see it when I open up the trunk, and that further stiffens the chassis over the R32. The transmission pattern is still the same though, still a traditional H pattern with first gear being up and to the left. So when you're driving the car, you just have to think of it as up and to the left the same way you would, but just with your left hand. I'd like to point out a few funny things about this car. First off, I love that you can move the Nissan badge on the tailgate to reveal the key for the trunk. How neat is that? You definitely don't see that anymore. True 90s car right here. There's also a fun little button below the steering wheel that extends and retracts the antenna. Why? Maybe better reception? I don't know. Is it an interesting button though? Most certainly. Now, Alex said that you have to keep it above 3,000 RPMs, right? Just to make sure that it doesn't bog out. It's happier at that RPM range. Sounds so good. God, I love the sound of the RB26, man. Oh yeah, that power comes on a lot later.
Yeah, it does.
Here we go. Oh, it sounds so good.
Remember that cough?
Woo! Yeah, sorry.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. Dude, that is fun. I wasn't even looking down, obviously, but boost kicks on really, really late.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to wait for it. Downshift. Rev match. Rev matches really nicely.
Oh yeah, it's smooth. It comes right in the boost.
Oh, my heart. Right turn
Go,
signal.
go.
I'm like, which turn signal's the right one again? Let's try some handling. Planted. Oh, boost comes on so nicely. Woohoo! What a car, man. It's so smooth. The engine is so smooth.
And the handling is
Oh yeah.
pretty planted.
I think it's the straight six. It's the most balanced engine just based on physics and how the pistons move up and down, right? This thing is what, 27 years old?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
For a 27-year-old car, this thing is... All right, I'm gonna do that a lot. For a 27-year-old car, this thing is so smooth. All right, let me check my mirror. Just gotta flip-flop your brain a little bit. Oh. The blow-off valve sounds so good. The whole car is amazing. So fun. This is such a pleasure driving a right-hand drive car. This is the first time driving a true JDM right-hand drive car and my first Skyline, so.
It's comfortable.
Oh yeah.
With these coilovers, it really doesn't. You don't really realize how they're not that stiff.
I think it's fine. My Miata's rougher than this.
The turbo just comes in nice and smooth.
It is definitely laggy,
Yeah.
but you don't care.
No.
I don't know. I think it's like a. Whoa, it's like the suspense. You're waiting. Whoa, and you just go
It
for
just
a ride.
keeps pulling.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Sound is just. You hear that turbo like.
Awesome. It's very funny because being on the right-hand side of the car doesn't really bother me.
No.
I feel like I'm getting used to that very quickly. The shifting with my left hand isn't really bothering me either. The turn signal is messing me up more than anything. The turn signal is by far the biggest thing to get used to with the JDM car, for sure.
The 32 makes it easy on the dash.
Right, so you're just gonna hit nothing with the 32.
33, they put down low. People hit it all the
Yep.
time. You
Yep.
watch YouTube videos of people hitting it. It just happens. Now, the worst thing, I'll get so used to driving this car is when I go back to drive my other car, I start turning the windshield wipers on.
Yep.
On a left-hand drive.
Because the R32 has the dial up here,
Yeah.
you're just gonna hit nothing if you go.
just go like this area. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right, right.
No one ever sees you screw up with a 33. Everybody knows. So you feel like you want to turn in early in this car, but you got to delay it a second.
Because of the
On the
right-hand
left side,
drive?
yes.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah, that's...
Right now you're riding on the line, so you gotta like, that's the hardest thing.
I know, yeah, you know
want
what?
to make it turn like slightly a little later.
All of a sudden, I feel like on the curvy back roads, now I'm like really trying to focus
Yeah.
on my line. The rev matching and downshifting is like butter.
Oh, it's
So easy.
So easy. This car really is.
Makes you feel like a better driver than you actually are, I feel like. It's very rewarding. Very rewarding driving experience. But in third, just blip the throttle like nothing. Let's get a little pull here. It's addicting, Alex. It's addicting.
It is. It even makes me just smile just being in the passenger seat.
Waiting for the boost. Right at like, woo, right below 5,000 RPMs,
Yeah.
you just get that surge, that wonderful surge of power right there. Glorious. And you're so right. You really have to turn in later.
A second.
Yeah.
A millisecond
Yeah.
later.
You really have to turn in later going
Yeah, you
left.
can let the car go almost more into the corner.
It's a little unnerving, I will say.
I learned that being on a road course, that you just gotta wait that millisecond.
Yep, absolutely. But on the flip side, the right, you turn in sooner.
Oh, yeah,
And you can
yep.
just really like nail it right from the beginning. Straight into the right side. Oh yeah. Right-hand corners are like nothing. And the brakes are solid too.
Oh, I know.
I think the sound and the smoothness are my two favorite parts. All right, ready? Let's give it a good one. Full throttle. Damn, dude. Rev match downshift, power into the corner. Oh, it's so planted. Yes. I don't know if you can tell, Alex, but I am having a wonderful time right now. Oh my God. Dude, it's like butter, bro.
I
Like
know.
butter. Going way too fast for that road, and this thing, it was like halfway there. Like, yeah, I got at least 50% more in me, if not more. Not this time. Going right. It only messes you up when you go left, because then you hit it the wrong way. But if you go right, it just goes to nowhere. Downshift the second. Full throttle pull. Oh, it's so good. Just want to keep driving it, man. I don't want to stop driving it. I keep extending and extending our drive purely just because I want to keep driving this car. If I have to give the R33 a slogan, like butter. It's just so smooth, especially for being a 27-year-old car.
Oh, I know.
You know, like, that's the crazy part to me, truly.
I mean, I'm not modified enough that I've lost the actual...
The smoothness of it,
the actual true like GT-Rs. They might have coilovers, but I feel like it still have the original feel. It still has that 90 raw feel to it.
Which I like.
You still hear things. You can still hear the gear change. You still can hear the driveline noise.
I also like how the interior is like tucked towards the driver, very cockpit style feel.
Almost like what the Super used to be like.
Yeah, pretty much. Another funny thing about this car is the back seats are actually quite usable. I'll show a video of me now climbing in the back, and you can see that once you're back there, it's actually not that bad. There's a decent amount of headroom, especially for an adult my size. I'm about 6 feet, 200 pounds. You know, you could squeeze back there and you won't be that uncomfortable for a decently long ride. It's quite surprising, actually. The hard part is just getting in and out, obviously. That's definitely the most challenging part.
This clutch is good up to 1100.
Damn. And it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, right?
No, it catches at a predictable spot. It's pretty much right in the middle.
It's not too heavy.
No, it's not that heavy at all. I find it very pleasurable to drive. It is not uncomfortable or unruly at all. It really isn't. This is awesome, man. Thank you so much.
No, bro.
Freaking blast.
Something you don't get to drive every day.
No, absolutely not. And last but not least, we can't forget to hit the horn so you guys can hear what the R33 horn sounds like. All in all, I'm a pretty big fan of the R33, and this one in particular. First off, who wouldn't love this thing? I mean, it's a modified JDM Skyline GT-R. And the second reason why I like the R33 chassis in particular is I've always been one to rebel against the norm. When I was younger, listening to music, for instance, I always enjoyed heavy metal. One of the reasons that I actually liked it was because everyone else thought it was weird, which for me, actually made me like it that much more because of the contrarian rebellion factor behind it. And I think the R33 is having that same effect on me. People don't seem to talk about it or appreciate it as much as the other chassis of GT-Rs. And for that reason, it's kind of like the underdog. But for me, I think that makes it that much cooler. It's also significantly more rare than the R32s. Nissan made just under 44,000 R32 GT-Rs. These bad Larrys, they only made 16,668. I'm not sure if many people realize that, but that should certainly perk up some interest in the R33 chassis in the JDM fan world. At least it certainly did for me. Either way, whichever GT-R is your favorite, they're all pretty much fantastic cars, absolute thrill rides. And this one is a driving experience that I will not soon forget. Did I lose power steering? That's heavy.
Oh, maybe we did lose power steering.
Oh my god, yeah. No, we don't have power steering. Modified car probs. Oh, your power steering belt again.
Really? Alright.
That is very odd. Okay. Alex's power steering belt just doesn't want to stay on. Oh, now we got the engine going. As soon as we start filming with the microphone, right? Literally as soon as I get the microphone out.